Hello, hello, hello. Welcome. For those who are new, I am Portia Angel, relationship love coach. And for those who are returning, welcome back. I'm not going to spend too much time. I won't be before you long. I've got dinner on the stove, and my dog is waiting for his mama's attention. Anyway, in this video, we are going to be talking about the energy that repels both love and money. And as an opening question, I want you to let me know this in the comments. Think back to the last person that you dealt with that made you feel like you wanted to go the other direction. Who was that, and why was it that you felt that way? That's important. Um, and by the way, just YouTube video etiquette. If anything that I say resonates with you, be sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and join the conversation in the live chat if you join while I'm doing this. And I do see someone that's joined, welcome. But nonetheless, opening question. Think back to the last person that made you want to go the other direction. Who was it, and why did you feel that way? Let me know. This past week, I had two different encounters with people that made me want to back away and go the other direction. And not because I didn't like these people. Actually, that's the crazy part. I really did. I really do. These are people that I actually have come to love. But when I thought about the energy they were bringing, I was just like, yeah, this isn't anything that I want to engage with or interact with. And so, what exactly is that energy? I'm going to describe it like this. I mentioned my dog earlier. What I have learned about dogs, and if you are familiar with animals, they can be huge teachers for us in this life if we're paying attention to their nonverbal communication. When it comes to interacting with dogs, I remember my best friend Lauren, who is featured on this channel a couple of videos ago. She had a dog named Duke, and Duke was a boxer. And she didn't know at the time what Duke's game was. She was trying to constantly chase him because he was running away. She was trying to get him to come back to her apartment. She was trying to get him to come back on the other side of the fence. She was trying to get him to stay. And every time that she would walk or run after him, he would keep walking and running in the same direction away from her. And what she later learned, and what I discovered by way of observing this whole little dance that they would do, she shared with me that in his mind, the more that she chased him, the more he ran away, thinking that it was a game. He's following direction. If he's chasing her going that way, he's going to continue going this way. The dance didn't change until she stopped running. And she pretty much gave up and said, you know what? I quit. I'm not doing this. If you want to run away, it's been nice knowing you. And she stops and goes back toward her apartment and just said, whatever. And lo and behold, within a matter of minutes, Duke shows up at her door. And what I am saying is the energy that causes people to chase you, to feel like you need to move away from them because they're intrusive, they're doing too much. That is the type of energy that will repel company, repel blessings, repel phone calls, repel job offers. It's the energy of desperation. It's the energy of pressure. It's the energy of lack. I feel like I don't have what I need, so I need to hurry up, hustle, dig, 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 chase, chase, chase to get. And when people come to you that way, What does it make you feel? I know for me, it makes me feel the ick. I remember the term that I used to hear back in the day. It was called being a bugaboo. Don't be a bugaboo. Stop blowing up somebody's phone. Don't do that, because now you're annoying. Now you're bugging people. It's one thing to dial somebody up and to ask for something, but it's another thing to continue to chase people in situations out of energy of lack and low vibration. And so I say this to say, not from a place of judgment, but from a place of self awareness and observation and insight. I had to stop and look at the bigger picture, because oftentimes when people in situations come into our lives, it is a mirror. I have been saying in my last several videos that there is no out there more that there is in here. Lauren actually mentioned that too on our collaborative video recently. But the point is, before we can say, oh, why is this happening to me? Especially if it seems to be a repeat situation, we often have to stop and say, okay, what is this coming to show me? What do I have to learn from this experience? Do I need to do something? Do I need to not do something? Is it showing me ways of being that I need to make sure that I don't become? Is it showing me ways of being that I unconsciously or unknowingly am actually operating in? And when I thought about it, and this ties back to my last live video, I had to be honest and say, wow, how much of my energy from a business relationship perspective, from a career and finance relationship perspective, have I been in the same energy of, let me hurry up, let me hurry up, let me just do this, let me just get this, let me just talk to this person, let me just do that over there. It's the energy in general of desperation, and I need to get this, and this has got to happen, or otherwise, or else. So when we take the face off of the person or the thing or the event or the opportunity, guess what? We are always playing an energetic dance of attraction and repulsion. Before the person, the thing, the situation even shows up, we are already playing that invisible game of attraction and repulsion. If we continue to attract things that we don't like, we have to also be willing to recognize that at the same token, we're repelling something else too. We're repelling the things that we do want. And sometimes in certain situations, it could even be the things that we need, or that we perceive we need in a certain situation. And so the objective of this live is to not only talk about this energy, but the dangers of it. And more importantly, how do we get out of it? Because I don't believe in just diagnosing problems. I believe in talking about results and solutions for forward movement and progress. And I have noticed that a lot of times our money can mimic our romantic landscape in some way, shape, or form, if they are happening at the same time or if they're happening at different times. How do we find ourselves in this energy of rush, chase, hurry, lack, desperation, I need, being needy, because that pushes people and things away from us that we really do want. So, danger number one, I'm looking at my notes because I don't like to miss anything. When we are in the spirit and the energy of rush, lack, and neediness or desperation, we need somebody to pick up the phone. We need somebody to come and be with us. We need somebody to give us some money. It causes us to rush into things with a certain mindset, and that mindset creates more of a ricochet of that same energy. Let me give you an example. I remember some years ago, there was someone who had reintroduced themselves back into my life. She was, I wouldn't exactly call her an elder, but for age purposes, we'll just say that's what she was. I hadn't seen or talked to this lady in forever. She had a business, and all of a sudden, out of the blue, it's our first phone call. And she says to me, I feel like you're supposed to be on my board of directors. And that really struck me as odd because I'm thinking, you don't even know the capacity that I have to do anything else right now, because the truth was I was booked and maxed out. I didn't have room for anything. Secondly, it spoke to me because I'm thinking, and I could feel her energy and her attitude of just trying to hurry up and reel me in like some used car salesman. And I'm like, I don't even know you, your business, or how you do business. And based on this, you don't know enough information about me to ask me to be on your board of directors. I mean, I'm a great person at all, but it speaks to your lack of discernment and proper vetting process, because that makes me question and wonder who else you have on your team that you've not properly vetted, because they could be a liability. In fact, if this is how you move, you could be a liability. I don't even know how you roll. And so I politely declined that invitation. And needless to say, that whole company project ended up being a mess and going down at some point after that. And so you have to know that when you are trying to create something in an energy of lack and desperation, and you're not allowing yourself to be still and aligned, it creates decisions that you'll later have to face the consequences of. It also causes us to settle far less than what we deserve. When we are in the spirit of lack and we just need something, I need to say this to somebody. Sometimes having something is actually far worse than having nothing at all. Because at least with nothing at all, you can go somewhere. But when you take on something that detracts your energy or that can worse cause you harm, now you're beneath where you started. And oftentimes when we are desperate and we're rushing, we're just willing to take something for nothing, we can end up putting ourselves in an even worse position than we were to begin with, had we just allowed ourselves to wait and simmer down. Have you ever experienced that? Have you ever experienced settling for something and then later regretting it? Let me know in the comments. What was that? Let me know what it was. Was it love? Was it money? Was it something else? Let me know in the comments if that's happened to you, because it's definitely happened to me. I would have to say the next thing is that it repels, and I alluded to this a little bit earlier, but not only does it bring in more of what you don't want, it repels the good people and the good events and the good situations away from you. Because let me tell you something. When people who have something to lose and are living their best life, and they have worked hard to get to where they are not going to be willing to just divulge and give away their spoils to just anybody. Most of the people that you consider to be successful in their relationships or successful in their businesses, they keep a tight, close circle of highly vetted, trusted, loyal people. And that's not just from a materialistic standpoint, that's from an energetic standpoint. These are people who are reciprocal. They are pouring into them as much as they are being poured into. And when you are constantly giving to people who are taking from you, it can literally feel like you're in an energetic vampire situation. When people feel that you are taking, whether that's advice, time, resources, information, money, energy, encouragement, when people are constantly feeding you, but you're not equally giving the same, some folks will begin to wake up and realize, wait a minute, I'm not getting out what I'm putting in. I'm not getting a return on my investment. Am I getting the support that I need when I need it, when it's my turn? Or is this the type of interaction that only seeks to take and subtract from me and leave me feeling depleted? See, it really becomes having an honest conversation with ourselves about, are we truly an asset or are we a liability in any situation and relationship that we have? It is not just romantic. This is family relationship dynamics too. Are you an asset or a liability? Is your family member or is your family at large, are they an asset or a liability? When you see their call on your phone, are you excited to pick it up? Are you at peace to pick it up? Or do you feel anxiety? And I know sometimes it's easier for us to look from the outside or from the, well, yeah, from look from the outside and diagnose other people. But here is where the change happens. Here's where the transformation happens when we can put ourselves in the hot seat and hold the mirror up and look at ourselves and say, am I the person that other people might be anxious being around? Am I the individual that people run away from because of my energy? And this requires a hard, honest conversation about not, oh, people can't handle the truth. It's not that a lot of times. A lot of times it's not what we say, it's not what we do, it's how we say, it's how we do, it's the timing we do that allows people to either feel welcoming into their space or that has people ghosting you, ignoring your calls, sending you to voicemail, not answering your text messages, giving you one-liners after you've written a paragraph, after you tried calling them several times. This is that energy. This is that energy. And what it reeks of is, help me, I'm desperate. And that repels the good energy, the good people who want to share in abundance, but it's a two-way street. It's a two-way street. That energy can push the good things and the good folks that you want right on out the door if we're not careful. And then again, let's not even think from a physical plane. We need to really tap into the non-tangible plane of it all, the energetic plane of it all, the spiritual plane of it all. Before things and people show up, we are only ever dealing with energy. And so when we think about our relationship with money, are we doing this? Are we being this way? When we think about our checks that are coming in or the checks that are not coming in, what we feel we now have to do in order to get something, are we playing that same energetic dance of lack and desperation that repels the clients from coming in the way that we like them to? Are we doing that same dance of desperation and lack when it comes to the relationship options or partners that we're interfacing with? Are we showing up places we shouldn't? We haven't been invited. Are we outstaying our welcome when we should be walking out the door? We're still lingering around. Are we making, are we initiating Every 5 minutes, a conversation, a text message, a phone call, a suggestion, an invitation. It's called space. Space. Space is not a bad word. Space allows you and the other person or situation to think about how to properly move forward and engage in a healthy and constructive, reciprocal, and considerate way. And this is just to give you some parameters around this. If you are wondering, well, how can you tell? If you have gone from not talking to somebody on a consistent basis, on a day-to-day basis, or even a weekly basis, or even a monthly basis, and then out of the blue, you go from nothing to now blowing up somebody's phone day after day, moment after moment, or hour after hour, via text, whatever the case. That's an energy of lack. That's an energy of desperation. Unless it is an absolute emergency and you are in the confines of a relationship that warrants that, that is grounds for being in lack and needy energy. And people and situations and opportunities will shut you out. They will shut us out. I'm going to include myself in the conversation because I had this realization, hence why we're on this live. So we have to be honest and real with ourselves to ask the question, what have I continued attracting that I don't like? And how have I mirrored this same thing in my life, in any area of life? Am I being shown a reflection? Can I see myself? Because as much as we want other people and things to be there for us, we have got to ask ourselves the hard questions. Why aren't they? Why aren't they? There could be a myriad of reasons. Maybe we're not communicating what we need, what we want. That's part of it. But this is another part to consider. And so now I want to move into how do we get out of this energy? Because again, it's not enough to diagnose. It's important that we do the work that's necessary to help us shift out so that we can get different results. And this applies across the board. That's why I made this live, not just about dating, but about money as well. Whether you're in a relationship or not. My relationship that I've been focusing on as of late has been money and career and business. Everybody's in a relationship with something. What are you in a relationship with? What are you in a relationship with? It could have a face, it may not. Let me know in the comments what relationship is coming to mind for you during this conversation. All right, so I'm going to give 3 things, 3 ways, 3 pieces of instruction on how to move out of this energy because it can feel very disempowering. And let me say this, I get it. God, do I get it on so many levels. When you feel like you've been deprived, I understand that feeling of, oh God, when is this going to be over? Can I just get some help? I just need fill in the blank. So I understand how we get there. It's important to understand with that how we can get out and shift ourselves emotionally and mentally, spiritually, energetically into a different place so that we can actually call in and receive and experience what we want. So first thing is, sometimes you got to surrender. You got to surrender. And this is somewhat the silver lining or the blessing to things just feeling insurmountable. When you are literally being shown something is completely out of your control, that's when you really have to say, you know what, F it. It is what it is. I'm not about to strive anymore, because that level of surrender allows us then to rest. I have been experiencing another level of rest this past week since my last live. I have chosen to rest. That is what surrender can often bring. Resting in the fact that this is outside of my wheelhouse of control. So why am I going to continue to work and strive and grind and chase after something that is showing me, like my best friend's dog, it's not feeling the energy that I'm bringing. It's not latching on and attaching to me. I have to let go. I have to let go. And let me just rest in the fact that I've done all that I can do. Sometimes that is enough to know I have done all that I can do. I've done all that I was supposed to do, and then some in some regards. And that makes the surrender that much easier. When you know you've gone above and beyond, you got to leave it up to the powers that be and just let it be. However, what that then brings is the second thing. And I do believe that these are in consequential order or consecutive order. It allows us to then know and trust. When you have the ability to rest because you've surrendered to what is outside of your control and the effort that you've already put in, you've got to start remembering and allowing yourself in the state of rest to be reminded, number one, who you are. Because see, a lot of our behaviors and decisions are based from a place of identity. If we see ourselves as someone who is broke, we will always settle for less, trying to get crumbs, trying to get something. If we see ourselves as someone who is abundant and affluent and always having more than enough, we're less likely to settle. We're more likely to wait for the thing we want because we understand from a place of greater self-worth. I don't have to subject myself down here to get something that I really don't even want just to make it to another day. You give yourself the opportunity in the spirit of rest to remind yourself who you are, which is number one, a divine being. I know sometimes living in this 3D physical plane where things can really get mundane, that we forget sometimes our own spiritual divinity, our own magic, our own ability that God has given us to create. We forget about it because we're so inundated with everything that is surrounding us, with all of the obligations that are on our to-do list. We forget about our divine engineering. And so rest often allows us to reset, to recharge, to rejuvenate, to remember who we are and whose we are. So if we acknowledge, I'm reminded about the song from the great Erykah Badu. She says in her song, On and On, I think it was something to the tune of, not the man who knows nothing knows that he knows nothing at all. Does it seem winter in your summertime or autumn in your fall? I don't know, something like that. I forget what the lyrics were. Somebody can help me in the comments. But anyway, she was saying, they know God and they call us by our names. Most intellects do not believe in God, but they feel him just the same. Meaning, someone may not have a spiritual affinity for things, but when they come into contact with us, they can still have the same type of experience if we are tapped in the way that we need to be. And so when you can recognize your own divinity, or at least the divinity from God that you're connected to, it allows you to trust on a higher level. You know what? I don't know how this is going to work, but I know I'm a child of the divine. And I know that whatever I need is mine. And I am trusting that I'm going to be shown and led to wherever I need to go or do or even become, so that I can have and experience not only what I need, but also what I desire, what I want. That requires another level of communion spiritually with our higher source, whatever that is for you, and with ourselves. Sometimes it's hard for us to trust something outside of us because we don't even trust what's within us. Boop. That might be a revelation in land for somebody. I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Do you trust yourself? Oh, and this is another part of the conversation. I got a detour for just a second. I got to be honest about this. Sometimes we find ourselves in this energy of lack and desperation because we have not been able to trust ourselves and the decisions that we are making. We have not been wise with the choices we've made. Whether it was the decision to allow somebody into our life, whether it was the decision to spend money on something, whether it was the decision to live above our means, so now our check isn't cutting the mustard every 2 weeks. This is an uncomfortable conversation, but it's an honest and necessary one. How well can you trust yourself to make decisions that do not leave you in a spirit or in a state of desperation and lack? And I'm putting myself in the conversation. What does that look like? What does that mean? Have I allowed myself to engage with people who only want to take from me? Every time I get around certain folk that I allow in my atmosphere, I'm paying the bill. I'm going to pick them up. I'm driving across town because they ain't got it. I knew the job wasn't what I wanted, but to have something, I took it anyway. And now I'm mad because I really needed more. And I'm not able to do the things that I want. Or I'm in this job, and although it pays great, I am running myself into the ground out of desperation to keep the money. I hate the boss. Never mind my self-respect. Never mind my ability to move up. I am holding on for dear life by a thread because of the money. Never mind if my health is failing. Never mind if I am riddled with anxiety and depression. We've got to take an honest look at ourselves and the decisions we've made and our ability to trust said decisions. And if we cannot say I 1,000% trust myself, we've got some work to do. And it literally starts with baby steps. What choice can I make today that's going to move me closer to being able to live more in a spirit of trust, trusting myself, trusting my decisions, trusting the environments that I'm in, trusting the people that I'm interacting with. And sometimes that means exiting stage left. I'm not dealing with this anymore. I'm not engaging with these folks anymore. I'm not even allowing myself to entertain conversations in my own head anymore. Because those conversations lead to actions. Those conversations lead to feelings that can create a domino effect of that negative energy, right? Last thing, when we can be reminded of who we are and know and trust whose we are and what is for us, and that we will have what we should, it then allows for us to choose consciously. What is choosing consciously? It means we get to align. We get to align with what it is that we actually want. I will give you a prime example. I was challenged this week on multiple occasions, but in this particular instance, I have been looking at collaborating with a business colleague of mine. And we were just talking about, oh, we should do a 7-day live challenge on one of our social media platforms. And in this supreme effort to boost, visibility and to try to really push for enrollment into my program, I was thinking, oh yeah, we can do this every day, and we can go live, and we can blah 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 blah. And this is me taking my own advice, or what was channeled through the last live, which was align with what you should do, but also make sure that you're operating in divine balance, that we're operating in divine balance. Don't get the instruction to do X, Y, and Z, and then keep doing that, the right thing, in the wrong energy, because it's going to make it the wrong thing. And I literally have had to check myself, like, wait a minute. If I had or was who I truly believed, would I be doing this to the point of potentially depleting my energy? Would I be going? Am I operating from a spirit of abundance, or am I operating from a spirit of lack and desperation? Because that's what I perceive is happening. And so in that state of rest and trust and remembering and knowing and choosing who I want to be and who I am becoming, I am aligning with the person who doesn't have to deplete themselves to be successful. I want to submit that challenge to you. If you were the person you desire to be, if you had the thing that you desire to have, is who you're being now emulating that at all? Because sometimes the deception and the trap is to think, oh, I got to do all of this to get there and to be that person. And that is oftentimes not the case. It's not to say that you can't experience a level of results, but is it sustainable? Let's just start and end with that question. Is it sustainable? Me doing a 7-day trek of going live for I don't know how many hours, that is not sustainable. And that's the thing to consider when we are making decisions, to know if it's in alignment. Can this be something that I continue for the long haul? Because if it is not a part of your lifestyle, if it is not a part of our lifestyle times 10, it is likely not to be something that we continue doing. If we think it's going to get us results one time, but we need this to continue to happen, how likely are we to continue doing it? It reminds me of people who say they want to go on a diet, or people who say they're going on a fast. I do not believe in really dieting or fasting unless it's for specific reasons. If it's just for vanity metrics, just to lose weight, I will always, and I have always said, so what happens when it's over? What happens when the fast is over? Do you go back to doing what you were doing that was giving you the non-results before? Because it's a magic pill, essentially. The results are short lasting, and we end up right back in square one. And so we have to be mindful of our energy. Are we doing things that align with our long-term goals? I want to do things that are a part of my lifestyle that will continue to bring me success in a healthy place that allow for my wellness to remain intact. I want to do things with people who truly align with me from the top down, not from the bottom up, if you know what I mean. Not from the pockets. Holistically, does this thing, this situation, this person align with me holistically? Do I align with it and what they're bringing and what they're saying? And then once we take a hard look at whether something aligns, then the next part of the instruction is to act. So we act from a place of alignment. And sometimes the alignment means we're not acting on that, what we thought we were going to do at all. We're changing courses completely. We're choosing someone else differently altogether, because that's what alignment allows us to do. It allows us to reassess our energy, our identity, and our alignment in action. Surrender and rest. Know and trust. Align, then act. I hope that this video has served you. If you're catching the replay, please let me know in the comments where this is hit for you. I want to hear from you. Even though this video may be ending and the chat and the replay may not be happening, I'm still communicating and we're still having this conversation in the comments. So I want to hear from you. Where does this land for you the most? And I see Auntie Tony and Uncle Butch. Hi, y'all. I'm about to end the live, but please, whenever you have a moment, rewatch it from the beginning and let me know what stands out for you. I appreciate and love y'all so much. And by the way, Songs and Conversations, if you see them in the comments, please go and follow. The music is amazing. The conversations are even more amazing. My favorite show, I have to say, on tloveradio.net. I think it's .net, right? Make sure that you go and subscribe, follow, show them all the love. Monday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you're going to have the time of your life listening in. I don't want to give it away. Just go follow them, show them some love. This is my internet auntie, Auntie Tony. She's a fantastic DJ, and her lineup of crew DJs, you will love them as well. All right. And the name of the show on Monday nights, that's right, 10 p.m. Eastern, is She Said That. You can also find them on Facebook. So if you are an avid Facebook user, make sure that you find them, join, follow her, T Love Radio. She Said That is the name of the show. And you can be a part of the conversation there. All right. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. Be sure to join the conversation in the comments. And I hope this video has served you. I will see you in the next one. Peace and blessings, and bye for now.